Welcome. I'm Dr. Darlene Williams-Prades. And for the next 15.5 minutes, I just want to talk to you. Yeah, you on the other side of this screen, you in the back and you in the front, about mastering effective communication, not just in home relationships, in every relationship. But before we get started, let me ask you to do something intentional with me. Take in one deep breath, hold it, and then exhale. So let me give you a quick backstory. I've mediated in disaster zones for FEMA, coached executives in high stake rooms, and stood with couples at the altar. And they all have one thing in common. You want to guess what that is? Just think about it. It's different settings, same pattern, conversation breakdown. Not because we lack the right words, that's not what's happening, but because we lose the right connections. And I'll say that again, not because we lack the right words, but because we lose the right connection. Now, I haven't always gotten the right answers myself or how to say things. But as a veteran, a mediator, and, a human, I've learned that conversations we avoid cost us the most. At home, at work, in our own heads. You understand that we talk to ourselves often. This is not sometimes. This is often as we're driving, as we're walking, in the bathroom, in the kitchen. We do. If you're here right now, you care about results and your relationships, because I do. So you want a few misunderstandings, faster decisions, and deeper trust. Fewer misunderstandings, faster decisions, and deeper trust. You want clarity without cruelty and honesty without harm. That's where we are, right? That's what we're going to do today. So in the next 15.5, I give you my promise for this. I'm going to give you 3 mindset shifts that instantly change the tone of any conversation. Also, I'm going to give you 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 practical tools you can use instantly when this is done with your team, with your partner, with your clients, and with yourself. Because you're the most important component anyway. We'll practice with 2 micro exercises. So the tools are in your body and not just on your notepads. But get your pads ready, because I want you to get this. And I want you to walk away with these things, these tools. You'll leave with one sentence ready for the conversation that matters the most to you this week. And everybody's got one, whether it's with your wife, whether it's with your kids, whether it's, heck, it could be with your pastor. But that one sentence is just got to be ready for that conversation. And the only thing I request of you is to start thinking right now of that one relationship or that dialogue that truly matters now for you. And hold it in your mind so that by the end, you'll have the words, the calm to move forward in that conversation, to have that dialogue. You ready? Let's go. So first of all, let's start with something really simple. Most conversations fail for one reason. You want to guess? We answer what wasn't asked, and we avoid what's true. We answer what wasn't asked, and we avoid what's true. Today, you'll get 3 shifts and 5 tools to change that immediately. Remember, I promised you that a few seconds ago. I'm just reinforcing my promise. This is going to be my gift to you. Absolutely. So let's start with the stakes. And that's the story and the credibility, right? So let me give you something real quick about me. Yesterday, I coached a boardroom locked in silence and an engaged couple stuck in the same loop. Yeah. All in one day. The difference between the two rooms is they had the same barriers. People listening to defend instead of listening to understand. Listening to understand means you're actively listening. You're not interrupting. You want to hear everything that's being said. And when you change how we relate, results change. Revenues rise. Woo, money. And resentment falls and connection returns. So I want you to write that down, put it in your phone, whatever you got to do, but just remember that when we change how we relate, revenues rise, resentment falls away, connection returns, and results change. So let's start with shift number 1. Regulate before you relate. Now, what that means is your nervous system leads this thing here, your mouth. It leads your mouth. Calm your body down. Clear the message in your head. Before you start to speak, understand what you want to say, who you're saying it to, and how you present it. The second shift is meaning before message. Validate the human you're speaking to. Acknowledge that they're there before you negotiate the issue. What the issue is, whether it is with your partner, your children, your parents, your boss, your team. Remember who and show reverence and respect. So let's do a quick exercise. It's really quick, something you can definitely sink your teeth in. What is one what or how? One what or how question you could ask today that, if answered honestly, would most improve the relationship that matters to you? I'm going to give you a minute to think about that. Write that down. We're going to come back to it later because it's important. It's important to know what is one what or how question you could ask today that, if answered honestly, and that's the key, would you most improve a relationship that matters to you? So, for that shift number 3, shift number 3 is curiosity over certainty. Curiosity over certainty. Now, please understand, have childlike faith, have childlike imagination, have childlike curiosity. Because then you always wonder, but you don't put a period at the end. Questions create safety. Safety creates honesty. Honesty creates solutions. How hard can that be, right? I'll repeat it because I want you to get this. Questions create safety. The other person and for you. Safety creates honesty. Becomes a vulnerable moment. Honesty creates solutions. Now you're not talking at, talking to. And it's a very comfortable situation. Now, when conflicts do arise, and they will, I want you to try stay. And what is stay? Well, I'm glad you asked. Stay is slow down, tell the truth, ask one question. Notice that number one that keeps coming up, and yield your defense. If the person you most need honesty from could anonymously rate you right now, how safe it feels to be candid with you. Scale of 1 to 10, what score would they give you? And what one behavior of yours must you retire this week to raise that score by 2 points? Once again, use stay. And that means slow down, tell the truth, ask one question, yield your defenses, and build that vulnerability. Build it. Now, in all conversations and relationships, sometimes there's damage, small or large. But repair that damage fast, then rebuild. And what I mean by that is small ruptures become resentments when we delay how we apply the repair. Deploy the I'm sorry. Deploy the how can I fix it? Deploy that please forgive me. Be humble enough to deploy the fix if you created the rupture. So we've been here and we've talked about several things, but most of it is communicating effectively, openly, honestly, and transparently on purpose. In other words, with intention. So, one tool per day, tiny behaviors, outsized impact. That's what you want. To use one tool per day, change tiny behaviors, and create an outsized. So, let me ask you a quick question. If you could craft a sentence for a conversation that matters to you, what would you say? What would your commitment to that person be to change everything? Well, let me help you out. You don't need to struggle with this. Remember this: clarity before comfort, curiosity before control, repair before results. Master these, and you won't just communicate better, you'll lead better, love better, and live lighter because you don't have the weight of the conflict, of the stress, of not being able to smooth through. So, the 5 tools, you can use them immediately right after this talk. The 90-second reset that we did at the beginning, it we only took one breath. But I advise take 4 deep breaths in, hold it for a second, let it out. Do it 4 times before you ever speak. Literally, it is generating clear energy, clearer mind from head to toe. You are clearing out. Imagine you go to a table and you got to clean it first before you put something new on it. So, why do you want to do that 90-second reset before your conversation? because it regulates your nervous system so your words land like they're supposed to. Those 4 inhales and 4 holds and 4 exhales, they work. The next thing to do is name what's true. When you're in a conversation, don't be defensive and don't be on the attack. Try this. I notice tension in my chest. I can slow down. Note that you're talking to yourself, not to anyone around you. You, in your head or out loud, hey, it's up to you. But notice what happens when you breathe those 4 breaths in, those 4 holds, and those 4 exhales. Watch how your body change. Be cognizant and be committed to that 90-second reset. Just like you have to reboot your computer, sometimes you have to reboot your body. And it's intentional. Decide your intent in one line. My goal is understanding, not victory. It's understanding who you're talking to, what you're talking about, but actively listen. Actively listen. Do not run ahead trying to figure it out. Sit still, breathe. Okay? Then you have 4 sentences that I'm about to give you for clarity. And this is when you need to be direct. You need to understand precisely what this person is saying. So your first clarity statement would be, say the hard thing that you want to know, right? So your first clarity statement is a mirror statement. Here's what I'm hearing you say, period. And then you let them validate, yes, that's what I said, or no, this is what I said instead. Because it allows them to bring you up to speed. Here's what I'm hearing you say. Now you can say it with meaning. Here's what that brings up for me. And usually this is a conversation we have with couples. But you can also go to that ask. My request is, but your commitment becomes, here's what I will do. See, when you're mirroring them, it's one way. When you're showing that it means something to you, it's another way. When you're asking, it's something different. But when you're committing, it's very powerful. That's 4 sentences for clarity. That's what that's for. So let's go on to listener's loop. Now, listener's loop is when there's 2 minutes of them talking and no interruptions from you. And what this does is it builds safety and accuracy very fast. Here's how it works. You give them 60 seconds of uninterrupted conversation. Then you, as the listener, have 20 to 30 seconds to say, did I get this right? You paraphrase what they said, and you say, did I get this right? See, once you do that, they can once again, just like before, clarify. You know, one open question can be very interesting to anybody. Because start with what or how. You never start with why. Not for an open question, because it interrupts a person's train of thought. It really does. So what you do is you switch roles. It is either a what or a how, never a why. Now, when we're talking about emotions and things are at a high level, you need to understand how to decode or translate heat and information. Understand, just like on your laptop or somebody in a spaceship, there is a code going on when that conversation is going on. So, what you want to do is you want to help the emotional data that you receive here be decoded here. And you have to choose the right response, which means you have to actively listen. So I'm going to pause here for a second to let you think about emotion decoding. Has anybody ever even thought about maybe I should just slow down just for a minute, right? So let me give you a quick map. I'm not going to give you the full map, but a quick map. I'm going to start with the things that usually hit, whether it's personal or professional. Let's start with anger. Understand the boundary and the need for respect. That's when anger comes in. With anxiety, there's reassurance and they need information from you or from someone else. Sadness comes from comfort or discomfort, and connection or the lack thereof. Both of those are needed. The person needs to be comforted and they need the connection. And the final one I'll give you, because it's a whole list, is guilt. There needs to be repair and integrity is needed. So the four that I gave you from your quick emotion decoding list that you have to pay attention to: anger, anxiety, sadness, guilt. But you know what? I'm going to throw in a bonus: frustration. That happens often. And frustration requires progress and support. And that's sometimes hard to figure out between frustration and anger. But trust me, if you pay attention, you give it your active listening, you will definitely know the difference. As I said in the beginning, translate the heat in the information that you're getting, and you'll know whether it's just frustration or anger. So here's what I've given you. I've given you a quick map of anger, anxiety, sadness, guilt, and frustration. But here's the key code. You need to use this prompt exactly as it said. I'm noticing, and you fill in the blank. Is the need here for, and you fill in the blank, or you fill in the blank. An example of that is, I'm noticing you're tired a lot. Is there a need for more rest, or are you feeling depressed? Don't answer it for them. Just see, what happens is the delay of you saying anything allows them to process, and then you can have the proper conversation. And why? Because delay grows distance, but quick repair rebuilds trust. And if you open it with, I'm noticing, they know that you're paying attention. Now, something that I practice is called the AOAA structure. Here's what AOAA stands for. Now, I'm going to give you a minute to write that down. AOAA. And here's what this acronym means. A is acknowledge. I see you're hurt, and I'm here to help. I see I hurt you, and I want to make it right. Own it. Whatever your part was, my part was blank. No excuses. Be accountable, whether in personal or professional life. Be accountable. A is ask. What do you need now? What would make this, whatever this is, better? What would make it better? And then listen. Don't tell them. Listen. And if you must, write it down. And finally, appreciate. That's the big part. Thank you for naming it, whatever it was. You matter that much to me. This matters that much to me. You're letting the person know you're paying attention from the very beginning. Because the AAO structure allows you to acknowledge the situation, own the situation, ask what you can do to help repair the situation, and appreciate that we've talked about this. And now we're coming to a resolution. So make sure that your hands and your heart meet what you need to do. If at any point, raise your hand in the conversation. If it's gone past a certain point and you feel like, I have so many questions. Don't let them talk for 30 minutes and then you have 40 million questions. No, do the 90 rule. Let them speak for 60, and then you take your 20 or 30 to ask your questions and keep going that way as it works. So let me ask you a question. Write it down. Think about it. Where do you feel most misunderstood right now, at this very moment? Is it home? Is it work? Or is it within yourself? Write it down. Write it down and share what feels misunderstood. And then, as a listener, mirror it back to someone else in another sentence to see where they feel misunderstood, because you may be able to help them. If you ask one curious question and no leading questions every day for a week, I promise you, you will see change. Your stress, your results, your relationships, all of that will begin to calm down, because you're not leading. It's an open question. And they can start feeling comfortable in speaking to you. You know, who is the one person right now you want to have a conversation with that matters the most this week? I asked that at the top. Who do you want to text? Is there something you want to get out of your system? So here's a mantra for you when you have to slow yourself down. Clarity before comfort. Curiosity before control. Repair before results. I'll say that again for the people in the back of the room or with their speakers down low. Clarity before comfort. Curiosity before control. Repair before results. Let's slow the room down so the truth can speed up. You know, when you're going through a conflict moment, it's like, oh, I'm going to teach you the tech that works no matter where you are or who you are or what it's called. Try the word stay on yourself. Everybody doesn't pick up as fast as you put down. Stay. Slow down. Tell the truth. Ask one question. Yield your defenses. Don't get upset because the person doesn't move as fast as you. Take it down a notch. You know, for every executive that's here, every minute of miscommunication costs margins. Every moment of clarity buys back trust. When you walk into your office and you know that your staff relies on you, and you know that the margin counts on them. Remember that statement. Every minute of miscommunication, not missed, not MISSED, no, miscommunication, 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 cost margin. Every moment of clarity buys back trust. So my 15.5 is almost done. But I want to make sure that you all know you're walking away with tools you can use right now. Just like if you walked into the shoe store and you found that perfect pair of shoes. And here it is. I'm going to throw down a gauntlet. I'm going to throw down a challenge just for you. Try this for 7 days. I want you for 7 days, 7 straight days. Use the 90-second reset before your hardest conversation. That's day 1. Day 2, run a listener's loop in your head with your partner, with yourself. Day number 3, deliver one message using the 4-sentence script that I gave. 1. Day 4, name an emotion and test 2 possible needs using the decoder, whether it's anger or guilt or frustration or tired or bipolarism. Try it out. Day 5, hey, send 1. Remember I said 1 because we're not going to overwhelm anybody. AOAA repair to somebody that's important to you. Day 6, ask 1 what or how question in a tense moment to bring it down. And day 7, reflect on changes and outcomes and tone and speed. I guarantee you there is nothing greater than knowing that communication isn't a talent. It's a discipline. Breathe first. Mirror what matters. Ask better questions. Repair things quickly and keep your word. Do that. Do that. And you will not only be heard, you will be trusted. And trust is the real finish line in every relationship. I am Dr. Darlene Williams-Prades, CEO and founder of Superior Love Forever LLC, where we are here to help any and all relationships prosper in every area: physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, socially, financially, academically, and intimately. So call, text, email. We're available no matter where you are. We can make it happen.